Our rescue team is making sure that everyone is fed and taken care of, and together we're trying to make sure that everything is ready for the auction tomorrow.
This morning we do have a tour coming out, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the training barn a little bit right now. I'm going to sweep out the big part of it, and then there's some manure in the round pen I got to pick up. So yeah, it looks like they did a pretty good job of keeping up with most of it. I'm just going to finish off what they did, and then hopefully get some horses down the track. So, got a lot of dust. Probably gonna turn the sprinkler on in here in the round pen for a little bit. Uh-oh. It was in here. There's no guarantee that it is still in here, but it was in here. What happens when you leave? Things go missing. Oh no, the hose might be frozen.
Oh.
John! I need the heater. Yep, see that? Frozen solid.
There you go. Natural heat.
I think it'll work. Nope. I wonder if the hose is frozen solid. It did get down to 23 degrees last night out here, so nope, that hose is frozen solid. Like the ball valve on the hose bib there, frozen shut. So let me go warm my hands up real quick and ask Dr. Nancy a couple questions.
Well, Doc was out here one time and showed me his nifty little shaver, and he said they work just amazing. And so I ordered ourselves some. I think this is the same brand that he had, and it makes it real easy for shaving down, nice and clean and little. I think that's like a beard shaver or something. But anyways, he says it works really great to have a little shaver in your pocket if you need to shave around where there's a wound or something. So I got some on Doc's recommendation that these are good little things. I hope it's the right brand. I don't know. Did my best. It looks like what Doc had.
So Caitlin is prepping our surgery room for Ginger today. We're going to do her inferior check ligament desmotomy, which means we're going to cut through the check ligament to free up movement of the deep digital flexor tendon, so her foot is not contracted back that way. We've coordinated that with Elijah, the farrier, so hopefully within a few minutes of us finishing up, he'll be able to trim it down, and we'll see how it goes. So, but she's doing final prep, getting everything good and clean in here, because we will be laying her down. I'm not going to try to do it standing. And we will be cutting through the tendon, so we want to keep things nice and sterile, clean environment, the whole 9 yards today. So I'm just getting ready for Ginger's surgery, putting together some surgery packs. The packs are actually in the autoclave right now. Been cleaning up some instruments as well, and I'm going to go ahead and put some that will end up being in little pouches like this autoclaved. That way, if we decide we need something that's not in the main pouch, then we can easily open up one of the autoclave pouches and add to our surgery kits. So one of those, we've got our checklist of everything should be in there, but sometimes you change game plan, things like that. So it never hurts to have extra on hand available to open up in a hurry when you need them. Trying to make it less obvious that Chatty is a permanent resident because we kind of blend him in with the outdoor colony, so it's less obvious when he's blended in with everybody else. Yeah, you have to really look closely to notice him then.
So our permanent resident wall is growing. We do have a lot of barn cats, so I can see that this is good to keep track of them.
Yes. Well, everybody's up to date on their shots. They're up to date on their rabies. They're up to date on their topical flea and tick treatments. So everybody is in good shape. And again, Chatty is the only one that I will give you pushback on adoption. So, because Chatty really, really doesn't want to leave. He really has taken over the vet office. So like it's my territory.
When it comes to permanent residents, I guess you could say from Chatty up is actual permanent residents, and then from here down, they are available if somebody really wants them.
Yes, somebody looking for a really good barn cat. Martina's really sweet. I mean, Garfield. Tibb's a little more shy, but Haley and Macy can tell you a lot more about their individual personalities, but they do make good outdoor cats, so.
If you want to watch more of Ginger's surgery, head over to our other channel, Horse Plus Vets, to see more.
Verify that it's the correct structure. We're good.
This is Cherish. We rescued Cherish from an auction and she was in pretty rough shape, and she's been in the vet barn having rehab and then also learning how to lead. And I think today is her big day because I think she has enough knowledge to lead out of the stall now. So we'll see what she thinks of the big outdoors. Are you ready to graduate? Here's licking and chewing, that's good. Okay, we're gonna go this way. It could be a whole different ball game when she goes outside because she's comfortable leading in the stall. Good girl, you're doing like a pro. You're doing such a good job. There's Ginger. Good girl. This is outside, there's lots of scaries. Come on, you got this. Come on, good girl. It's like, I don't know what to do. You just follow me. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. So very proud of her. This is very big and scary for her, but she's doing really, really well with all her exciting things going on. We have the dumpster trailer getting dumped off and a lot of stuff happening, and she's doing good. So I'm going to tighten up her halter just a little bit, and then we'll turn her loose and see how she does. We did work a little bit with moving in the stall, kind of on the lunge line, but we'll see how she does. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Look how well you're doing. All right, you want to do it with free? All right. Come on. You get to run around now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. She's like, I don't know what to do. She wants to check it out for a little bit, so I'm gonna let her check out her surroundings, and then we'll see if she'll trot around. We see a lot of young saddlebreds at the auction, and it's really sad. It's almost like somebody's breeding them and like, well, this one's got bad conformation. We'll send it to the auction. And we do see a lot of them at the auction. Come on. Good girl. All right. Good girl. Good girl. So she's definitely making really big leaps and bounds. Having her in the round pen's nice because in the stall, she doesn't like to be caught. And in the round pen, we can actually move her legs and then have her stand to walk up to her. So she's doing good. Come on. Well, Corey, she's ready to be turned over to you.
Where's she going? Where's she staying in the vet barn
I think it would be good for her to get a little bit more lessons on walking up and being touched because she's hard to catch. But she is leading good. She doesn't like to go through stall gates, and she has not been tied yet. So she's gonna get turned over to Corey. I'm just gonna say I was her kindergarten teacher, and now she's graduating to more advanced, so.
So pretty much we're gonna take this with us, which is more than enough halters than we need, but I've not sorted through all of them yet again, so I'll do that when we get there. But we have plenty of halters. Our new auction intake box. Nice. And then, of course, my carry medical bag has a little odds and ends in it. And then everything else, our microchip box, and then our Cinchill Buteless for in the morning, our WD-40, and again, more than enough halters that by next auction, I will get pared down even more. Our box for our notes. And normally I have a little notebook, but since I ran off without my notebook this week, I'm gonna take a few of the extra ones, make some notes on, just in case we get more than we anticipate. Perfect. I see you when I get back, okay? Ain't no darling. Sleep well. Want to ride?
Oh, sure. Oh my. Oh, please don't drop anything. Oh my goodness.
Don't be scared of my driving. It only hurts when you fall off. Okay, it wasn't that bad. See, wasn't that bad? Now was it? I told you it wasn't that bad. I'm a good safe driver. I may go above the recommended speed limit at times, but I'm a good driver.
Now we're just waiting on Tony and Jason to get hooked up, and then we'll be on our way.
You want to make sure your jack is all the way up, otherwise you can drag your jack on the ground, go over a bump or something, and you will bend it, and it will be a bad day trying to trail it back on. All right, this is a safety pin. It goes through here. That keeps it from popping up. These heavy-duty things are your safety chains. You want to make sure they're wrapped around each other a little bit and then twisted before they're hooked up to your truck. Hook your trailer up to it, and then you're good to go. And you just double check visually, you're locked, you're pinned, jack's up, both chains hooked up, and your lights are hooked up, and then you're good to go.
My other half. That's a very good question.
Well, I'm glad you're here, but she's supposed to be here too.
Let me see if I
grab Rebecca while she's at it.
Rebecca? Okay then. I'll look for my half and Rebecca.
So Dr. Nancy already headed out, and Jason got the scale going up in quarantine because we really need to use that when the horses come in. And now we're just waiting for John. But John was actually out here prompt, and now he went to find his other half, which is Kimberly. And then Rebecca's also supposed to be coming with us to help me fundraise. So I'm here, Jason's here, Corey's here. We're just waiting.
I don't know, I think I lost my half.
We're still waiting for Kimberly. I think she knows that we're out here.
We're waiting on one more person. This happened in another auction a couple months ago, I feel like, where I think Jason was just about ready to drive out the gate, and Tawny and Kimberly went chasing after him. I think that's what happened.
Leave without me, I'm coming. Usually it's hurry up and wait, and I'm the one waiting.
There you go.
And now they're like about to drive away without me. What is he doing?
Jason forgot his jacket, so now we're waiting on Jason.
I never have to pack my own jacket. It's a good thing someone reminded me. All right, now we're
Okay,
leaving.
I think we're leaving.
So we are heading on the road to auction in Cookeville. It's going on 1 o'clock, so we're going to get there a little earlier than we normally do, but dual purpose is just kind of scoping out, working with the auction of making it easier at the end of the night to get our horses separated out and get a good first assessment on them that way. It helps a lot when we can work with them, and as we purchase them and as they run them back to the pens to hold, that we can kind of keep ours grouped together. So working on that. Also just to get an eye as they come into the market, really just to, once they get in the pens at market, sometimes it's hard to see some of the issues as obvious until they come through the ring. So again, just one of those market advantages of just being able to see them as they unload to get a little bit more background and better feel for the horses, some of their issues, things like that. It's a little after 3, going on 3:30. We just got to auction. We're going to go in and kind of get a scope out of what's here. Hopefully not a lot of bad horses. We'll see. And I'm going to guess 24 this week, just a random guess of 24. So we'll see what's here, what shape they're in, and what prices are bringing this week. How old do you think she is while I've got gloves on?
Not very old.
No, okay.
About 10.
Yeah, ballpark. Okay, about 10. I think she walked funny if I remember right. Okay.
Yeah, final temp 1046.
I knew there was something with her when she come in, so.
She was the one that looked like she was jumping up in the hind end a little bit, I guess.
How do you assess lameness in a gaited horse?
Well, again, she's off in the back end
She
for.
definitely seems off.
Yes, it's the same way as you look for the basic. Are they setting them symmetrically, smoothly? She's
Like,
off.
timing.
Yes, yeah, she's off. Bad juju.
So we were able to get 9 before the auction started. And we were able to assess and microchip 6 of them. And the other 3 we're gonna let decompress a little bit and see if we can get our hands on them later. I know for a fact at least 2 of them are acting unhandled. They look like they have not been touched besides, I don't know, maybe they had a halter on when they were a baby or something like that. But we're gonna let them decompress. We're gonna go see what else is here and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna try to separate them out a little bit before we run them down so they're not just all running down at the same time. This way we could handle a little bit more easy, I guess.
And that Jack is trying to breed everything that's female. We got a little Jack donkey who is a little bit excitable tonight, and he's trying to breed everything that's a female, so we're trying to get them out of there as soon as possible, because after they went through the ring, they just shoved all of our horses together, including our intact Jack.
When we got to the auction, we were a little discouraged because there weren't very many horses here. Like, there were very few horses here, about a quarter of what's normal. And we're like, well, we're going to save as many horses as we can. Last month, we were only able to save 11. It's like, we would really like to save 20 horses tonight, but we just have to see what happens. And fundraising has definitely taken a hit with the economy going down. Banks are failing, people have uncertainty. And as the auction was progressing, it's like, wait, we were buying every horse that's being sold in the ring. You know, some horses no sale because the owners want more than it went through the ring for. But we just kept going and we kept buying, and the prices were low. They were below slaughter price, and just kept buying and buying. And then all of a sudden the auctioneer's like, well, that's it. Or we look at each other like, we bought every horse that was sold in the ring tonight. So for the first time that I can remember, we rescued every horse that was sold in the ring tonight. So absolutely amazing. It was thanks to only thanks to our donors, because if we didn't have financial backing, we wouldn't be able to do this. So again, donations are down, so if you can chip in a little bit to help, thank you so much. But 21 precious lives saved tonight. That was every horse that sold in the ring. So super exciting. Never done that before. And even the donkey's happy about it. I would be really confused too if I was a little donkey and I get dumped off at an auction, possibly the first time they've ever been away from their home, and it's like, go here, go there, go here, run through here. It's like, that'd be terrifying. So I give them all the slack they need, because poor things, they've been through a lot today.
This one will definitely give Butte tonight. It's a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, he looks pretty bad.
I'm thinking 22.
Yeah, we're at least mid-20s, better than this one over here. This one's even older over here. It's a bay with the star. And any other white? Yes. You've cut that, it just never got healed properly.
Yeah, it's all kinds of nastiness.
Yeah. You're a deficiency of red juice, darling. Don't bite my fingers. I know you weren't meaning
Trying to
to.
help you.
Okay, sweetheart. Are you okay for a microchip tonight, or maybe wait? Let's wait. Let's let you, yeah, let's let her settle with her Butte tonight.
We're gonna get some sleep tonight. Yeah.
Yes, there's should be in the top.
There are 4 more horses down there, or 4 more animals down there that we need to bring up. There is one, it does have a twisted front leg. I don't know, are we bringing that one down here?
If we can get water up there, we'll leave it.
All right, so that one's gonna stay there. We've got the 2 Pasofino mares need to come up. I don't know if we can get a halter on them, but I'm gonna try. If not, then we'll just run them down. And then we have what we've been, I guess, affectionately calling Mini Mace. So we'll bring that one down soon too. We're trying to get this water filled up because we don't want to move this one down. There it goes. All right, so I'm gonna run the Passos down, and then we just have the mini meal to run down, and then we are done for tonight, I believe. We're gonna make sure that we have everybody accounted for before we take off. And yeah, it's a pretty early night. We did end up getting every single animal at this auction, but there wasn't that many. I think there was about, what, 20, 21, 22 altogether, somewhere around there, so. Are you ready for the Passos? This one in the back's limping bad.
Yeah, back one's lame. She is lame at a minimum on her right front because she's hopping as she was running down through there. She's the skinnier one of the 2. They're supposed to be half sisters, so we'll have to get her back and see what the source of the lameness is, but there's definitely an obvious in the right front. And there may be more, but that's the first thing I saw as she went down through there. Okay, Mini Mace, onward, on delay. Look how cute that is.
A mule is a donkey mixed with a horse, but when the horse is the mom. Whereas with a hinny, the donkey is the mom. So it's like when a jack breeds a horse, it's a mule. And when a stallion breeds a jenny, it's a hinny, basically.
So this is our nice little pen of male donkeys that will be slated for castration. Behind that is the one female donkey. Ended up with 21 tonight. It's a mixed emotion because there was 21 saved. Bad news is there were 21 with majority of these having significant issues. So we've got one that has a dislocated shoulder that I will end up putting down on the trailer tomorrow because I'm not going to try to transport it back in the shape it's in. The others, I know just by looking at them, by the lameness, when we work them up further, it will probably be life-ending. But again, we'll further evaluate in the morning. I did give out some bute tonight to the ones I thought needed it. Some Banamine tonight on some that were running some fevers. They had been through a previous market. I found out they came through Kentucky market before they got here. So that's to be expected. They've picked up some respiratory. So good news is 21 saved. Bad news is majority of them were in bad shape to be here to start with that auction. So mixed emotions on that. Would like to see a little bit more healthier, but with the prices going down on horses, they're holding on to them instead of selling them right now, so we're getting the worst of the worst.
But what's super exciting is we saved every horse that the auctioneer sold in the auction ring. So I'm super thrilled about that. Like, never been able to do that before. To the best of my memory, in 20 years of rescue, there may have been an auction or two where maybe there's a couple horses and we were able to save them all, but 21 horses saved. Every horse that the auctioneer sold in the ring went towards Plus Humane Society, and that was only because of your support. So thank you so much. I'm immediately regretting my decision to get out of bed.
We are headed to the auction. Last night we did something I've always wanted to do, and that was bike.
The WD-40, if we need it, is right there. We need that whole milk crate.
We need WD-40.
Yeah, just bring the whole crate. That's got the essential and all. And then the halter or lead ropes are in the bucket there.
We're doing great. It's pretty exciting. We were able to rescue every single horse that went through the auction ring and sold. That has been a very, very, very long time dream of mine, and it actually happened, so I'm tickled about that. Now we just got to get them, lights, yay!
It's very bright.
Yay, we've got lights.
Okay.
So I'm very, very thankful that we were able to rescue so many, and now we got to get them ready to head back to the shelter. It's raining pretty good today, so the roads might be a little bit different than when they're dry, but we're going to get them back to the shelter and get them everything they need. This horse is getting Sin Chill and some pain medicine. The Sin Chill really helps them relax. They've been through a lot of stress, and Sin Nutra is one of our sponsors, and they send us Sin Chill to help these horses here at the auction, and we're very grateful to them. They're very good about sending us their products to use on these rescued horses, and we're very grateful for that.
Sometimes I don't like the oral stuff, but if you do start off by just getting up there and sticking your finger in there and then wait until they settle and taking it away, it'll help prepare them for that.
She rode through the ring as a smooth mouth mare. Kid broke, anybody could ride that way. Very calm mare, but unfortunately we do have a little bit of dropping of the fetlock, some possibly DSLD going on there, so we'll see how she does soundness wise when we get her back that way.
I took a picture of this donkey at the January auction, and now we have him. So he ran through the auction in January, and I took a picture of him because I thought he was so cute, even though we didn't get him. And now here we are in March, and he's ours.
Hey Rebecca, can you tell me what's going on?
So they're trying to round up the donkeys and make sure that they have pictures of everybody, and that also that all the animals receive their orals with, I believe it's Sin Chill to calm them down, and so that they'll be ready for the ride and to be loaded up on the trailer to go back to the shelter. We've got 2 donkeys and a mini mule, which I think that's my first time seeing a mini mule. I'm sure it's not that uncommon, but he's so cute. I love him.
It's a very safe way for us to do temperature checks and moderate them with these microchips that tell us the temperature. And so they're a huge blessing for us, because if we wanted to get this horse's temperature, we'd have to go to the back end of the horse and do something very personal that they often don't like. And for auction horses that we don't know, that's not very nice to have to do. So how do you like, as a veterinarian, how do you like the scanning microchip
Makes
scanner?
it wonderful. It's a lot safer and a lot more faster and efficient on getting temps, and we can keep a closer eye on the ones, because again, they're more prone to being sick coming through the market.
So this horse is blind
Blind horse.
and is standard bred. And most likely he's been an Amish horse, workhorse for a while. Now he's got old injuries and he's kind of messed up. Other side. No, we're gonna turn it. And he's got shoes on, so they're still working him. Forelock there has been shaved down. They do that for harness work. So if we look at him, we know that he was a harness horse. Also above his withers, the hair is short there. That's from the harness. We already searched him, so we do know who he is. But yeah, so he has been a working Amish horse probably right up until pretty recently.
This is a Palomino mare. It does have an injury to its front right. She does seem a little skittish, also a little skinny. She was kind of acting like she could trust me, and then I poked her with the microchip, so now she's pinning the ears at me like she doesn't like me. But we'll get over that with time.
We've got half the horses' intake assessment done here at the auction, and now we're going to get ready to do the rest of them. We've got 3 trailers for hauling these horses back to our shelter today. So it's kind of just a little bit of a process, but we like to have the process and take the time to make sure that everybody's able to haul safely together and know a little bit more about these horses before we just load them up and hit the road.
We are going to our sick pen ones, the ones that had fevers last night, checking temperatures this morning, and I gave some Banamine last night. I've got my Banamine ready for this morning to make them comfortable on the ride home, but we'll check them again before we load that way. So.
I think there's 2 registered Tennessee walking horses that we got, so this would be one of them. And they're in rough shape. It's really sad. All right, we are getting ready to load up the first group. We've got the donkeys and a pony and the gray horse. They're all doing well, so they're gonna ride together. So they're the first ones to be loaded up. If anyone thinks I've been excessively on my phone, it's actually, I'm trying to multitask and get stuff done faster, because when I'm on the road, I have a ton of stuff I'm trying to do, and a lot of it's uploading pictures so we can get their names out and stuff. So I'm trying to get ahead of the schedule on that. So I'm not like playing Bubble Popper or something over here just being bored, but I'm actually working. I was like, man, people probably think I've just zoned out and on my phone, but no, I'm working, I'm getting their stuff done. So, One time, something terrible happened when I was here. I was leaned up over here and there was a bottle of glue for auction tags right here, and my hair was right here, and I got a huge glump of that glue in my hair, and I had to like cut a huge section of my hair out. So I try to make sure that doesn't happen again, because that wasn't nice.
Okay, sweetie, big step, okay? Big step. 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 Good job. Good job. Step on up. You're good. There you go.
Hello. There we go.
In this trailer, we're going to load up all the sick horses, so there is no chance of them getting nose-to-nose contact with the horses that aren't showing signs of sickness. This horse is in such bad condition, we can't transport this horse. It would be cruel to prolong its suffering, so we are going to say goodbye to this horse here at the auction.
Well, unfortunately, this one has shoulder dislocation. We have some massive swelling on the knee, and unfortunately, it is not fresh, as you can tell by the hoof here that is severely grown out of alignment that way, where it's been trying to compensate for this leg on that. So this is not another bony change here. This is not a fresh one, because the shoulder should be, the point of the elbow should be up in here, and where it's dropped down, dislocated, it's just literally hanging down. It can't brace itself properly with only 3 good legs. That way, this one is in bad enough shape that it's equivalent to a broken leg, even though it's technically not fractured, but I'm not going to transport one in that shape and have a risk of it getting down on the trailer and getting hurt worse.
We've got all the horses loaded up and we're ready to hit the road. It's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive back, and it is 10 o'clock, so we're making good time.
The auction team is on its way back from the auction, and we are getting ready to do our intake today. So we are going to load stuff up. We're using the car today because everything will get soaked if we use a side-by-side. So we're just going to load the car up, and we're going to take up stuff for the auction intake. All right, so we just got to get this in order now. So we have everything all nice and tidied up, set up, and now we just have to wait for them to get here with the horses.
So I just made it back. I did leave a little earlier than everybody else. Right now we're gonna leave these horses on the trailer. They did have high temperatures this morning. And then when Dr. Nancy gets here, we're gonna offload them into our isolation pen, and we'll get them looked at on Monday.
We just got back, and now we're gonna get everyone unloaded. It's kind of drizzly, but everyone hauled really well, and we're really happy that we made it safely back.
Come on down. Good.
I am getting ready some sedation because this is a 10-year-old standardbred that has a wound that is healed on the right rear, but I'm gonna take an x-ray before I touch the external part just to see what the internal part looks like. So, also is blind in the left eye. So we are just gonna be a little safer doing x-rays. Again, because when they've had wounds on their lower legs, they tend to react more just because they're a little gun shy about them, to be a little bit more on the safe side. Let's walk him and see how if he gives any to it or not. He hadn't looked like he had, so just walk him out that way. So sedated, there is a little deficit in the tendon as it comes down on the front. His teeth have been floated within the past 6 months at least, because they're not just barely a little. And it may just because they missed that one spot, but other than that, they're pretty smooth. So they've been done. Okay, darling. He is a registered standardbred, and a lot of them, after they don't cut it in racing world, a lot of times they go to make Amish workhorses, things like that. So there may be more wear and tear on his joints for his age than one would anticipate. So that's why we're taking a look to see what they look like. These are pipe cleaners which have wire in them, so we're going to use them as reference landmarks where we're at along the spine, so that way we can fine tune and zoom in faster where we find issues at.
That is the one above his scar.
Okay, that's why this one is more compacted then, okay, because it is putting strain on the joint. Because again, it's the superficial extensor tendon is the one affected, so it's putting strain with that. Because we definitely got the remodeling, so this is old, it's not a current. You could tell by the external on the wound there. There may be, but that's not causing any draining tract to have to go in there to go find that. So that's all the granulation tissue that formed over that way. So with him, his biggest issue is he's not going to be a riding horse. For the fact is he has superficial tendon damage because when he walks sedated, it brings it out more. So we're not a riding horse. Other than that, he does have some extra strain on that joint.
And he could be drugged right now pretty heavily.
So let's give him time to, like Finn, see what he does. Yes, yes, let's do a Finn evaluation, as we'll call it, to see if anything pops up in the next day or two and next week to see if it's been hidden. This one is one that looked like had some appearance of DSLD or injury. So we're gonna do some x-rays, see if there's any bony changes with it and evaluate her a little further and see what we find. I'm gonna be nosy, lady. She's got a cut on her upper lip, or under it, but it's okay, it'll heal. She has a wound on the bottom lip. That's why you don't like your lip messed with. Teeth could use a good floating. She's close, not touching, but close. Lovely there. Look at that beautiful spacing. Notice how much there's a dip there. Even though we're a little obliqued, we shouldn't be quite that much. And that was on the left front.
The back, that's the back.
Okay, left rear, okay, so.
It's from the DSLD.
Yeah. Just that, or it could be, for her as post-legged she is, could be a compensation for her overall conformation. But yeah, either way, it's dropping way too much. Putting a strain regardless on the ligament.
And that can be making her hips do weird things for what Corey said.
Yeah, yeah, compensation mechanism. Let's watch her walk. Even though she's drunk, let's watch her walk. Okay, hold up, Kimberly, just a second. It's okay, sweetheart.
Can I walk with her?
Yeah. Okay, let me check the other side. when she's walking, she's actually turning out, and that's when you're noticing her stifle coming out on her. So
And she's very straight-legged.
yeah, oh yeah, she's completely. That's.
Do you think that's just from the DSLD? It's the way she's kind of walking? It's
I think it's the
changing
way
her
she's
stance?
made to start with. She just poor confirmation from the get-go.
We give her maybe a couple days and let her.
Reevaluate, let her hang out. So because we'll see what pops up because it's probably buted.
A lot of horses from auction appear sound, or like even if they're not, like we'll give them pain medicine and stuff. So we're trying to evaluate, is it really painful, or is there pain medicine that's been given to this animal to mask what the animal's actually suffering with. So yeah, it's not looking good, but we're going to reevaluate and see how she does with a little bit of time.
There's a hair loss over there from another injury that I can't tell if it happened at the same time as that one. I'm just looking if there's any other hidden injuries we've not noticed yet is what I'm looking for. So kind of just giving a once over of what's obvious, and then we'll see what pops up.
Weirdness.
It's bony involvement as well. The bone remodeling, and this is where the tendon's affected, is why we've got this down the bone that way.
So is it like a tendon infections, and it's like on the sides and all?
It's where it's tried to remodel because the tendon is probably severed in there, and as it's tried to scar down, the bone has came out as a response because this was damaged as well. So it went to the bone. Lucky. The joint, I don't know how, looks nice. I don't know how, so we're not gonna, but the tendon definitely, because we've got remodeling along the bone where the tendon is supposed to lay. So,
Wow.
yeah.
It's a mess.
It's amazing it walks as sound as it does.
Who knows how much drugs she's on too?
That's true, but
Can I scroll?
yes, you may.
I'm just kind of
Yeah, so definitely. And even if she was sound, there's not much I can do. I can scrape the top of that off and try to get to heal over a little better, but I'm not going to be able to change that. The swelling's going to be there, yeah.
It's a case of an owner
Didn't treat the
pasture
wounds, yeah.
neglect, not caring that the horse got injured and just letting it go, and now it looks terrible. We'll take it to the auction. It can go to slaughter, and we got her instead. And now we have to make the right decision that the owner just walked away from. You should have, if your horse gets hurt, take it to a vet. Like, get veterinarian care, because that was a gnarly injury. When that happened, that wasn't something you could overlook very easily.
No.
That would have been very rough.
Go ahead and walk him down that way. I just want to see how bad the tendon appears to be affected, of how much is scarred down versus. And see, this is an example of a tendon that we know had to be injured during the initial injury, but placement-wise, if you didn't see the bad wound there, you wouldn't know that scar tissue was in there on the bone without x-raying it. So,
I wonder how much movement that leg has. Like, is it stiff from that scar tissue?
yeah, yes, you can't flex it. No, you can't flex it. So it's pretty much an equivalent of a fused joint, but not technically fused. The soft tissue is holding it in place.
And as the body keeps trying to heal, it's just going to get worse and worse in there.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better, no. And again, that's not something we can just go in, clean up, and make it all good again.
A vet could have, right when it happened, and had a lot better chances.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, how old of an injury do you think that is, with all that bony remodeling
With
and stuff?
granulation, it's been at least a couple of months, at least minimum on that. And again, some of those, once they reach that point, they're like that for years, so it could even been longer too. So unfortunately, not fixable.
But we kept her off the slaughter truck.
Yes, so. This is a 2-year-old gelding that he's sedate right now where we done his x-ray, so that's why he's a little heavy-headed. Unfortunately, he's a little conformationally challenged, to put it nicely. The fact is he toes out on the front. His most obvious and his most significant is his left rear. It literally cocks in at an angle and the joint is not even in alignment, unfortunately. It is rubbing bone on bone where it is misaligned. And the right hind is swollen as well because it's compensating for that. And looking at this horse's structure all the way over, I am going to hedge bets that this horse was born this way. It was conformationally challenged and nobody tried to correct the issues that would have helped align that joint better. And unfortunately, this one's been through multiple auctions and has just kept being passed around because nobody's taken the responsibility. And unfortunately, this is painful. This is bone on bone, not going to get better now. We're reached 2 years old. Younger, it might have been possible to do some work, but nobody wants to step up and do what's right for him and not make him keep hurting, unfortunately. If you look from the side, he's dropping down. He has very severely underrun heels, which again puts more pressure on everything. So, as I said, unfortunately, this one is just conformationally challenged probably from birth, and that happens sometimes with poor breeding or just the way the genetics come together. And when that happens, it's best to not make them suffer and eliminate the suffering instead of just passing them around. So this is the misalignment, just one of the angles of it. So it's pretty severe, and again, we're really past the point of being able to try to even fix that. So.
Some of the tricks that they do at auctions is it looks like they chopped his mane down to make him look like he was younger.
Cut his tail.
And it's all just horse trader things to try to make him look like people are paying more attention to things besides his leg. But I'm just glad this awesome little guy came here and we were able to figure out what's going on with him and what's the best option, because without us he could have just been shipped to Mexico and that would have been the end of him.
We're going to go ahead and finish giving her vaccines, but we are going to x-ray her because she does have a little bit of enlarge on the right and front knee. So we're just going to see what's going on in there and again, give us a better idea for adoptability, arthritis, things of that nature. So.
She's doing a very good job of holding herself. We're just kind of supervising.
So our bay standardbred mare, the good news is she has a little arthritis going on, but nowhere near as significant as everybody else. So we went ahead and finished her intake, and we are going to reevaluate her to see what degree the arthritis is bothering her. But again, it's not on x-ray to the degree that a lot of them are today. So that's why we're going to give her time and see how it affects her. 1014, so we're still a little elevated. Let me get some gloves on. Let me check your teeth. And while I get the gloves on, go ahead and walk her back out, Kimberly. Let me watch your walk again. Because these should be the papered mares. That's what I saw last night. Right hind.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's stand up, lady. Let's not go down. No, don't go down. Don't go down. She's considering laying on the ground.
Okay, sweetheart.
Watch your face with those shoes.
Yeah. Okay, sweetie. You are a lightweight, darling.
I don't think we can get the x-ray plate in there. Okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah, she may actually have something else on board is the reason why she's so easily drunk off 2 cc's of romping.
That's all she had?
Yeah. This little mare is really, really sedate off a minimum amount of sedation. Listen to her heart. We don't have a heart murmur going on. Unfortunately, there are some other drugs that some people will use as long-acting tranquilizers. Won't know without pulling a blood sample and sending it off to submit, but suspect she has another tranquilizer on board, which is compounding the effect of what I gave her today. So, yeah. Because she's really extreme just to be a lightweight sedator. More extreme than just one that is easy to sedate. So, very dramatic in her effect. I'm just going to collect some blood and we'll see if we can find any evidence of tranquilizer. And if it's, unfortunately, they are always coming out with new ways to beat the system. So unless we try to test for everything under the sun, we may not find if it's not the one that I suspect may be. It may be one of the other ones they've come up with. So we'll see what we find.
Some horses need more than that for farrier.
Exactly. That's why I'm like,
That's not even a lot.
Today went really well. We're wrapping up. The last 2 horses were kind of interesting. So we kind of just ended it on a note with them, got the paint horse back to reality.
Yes, she was a little heavy, easy drugger, as you would call it, heavily sedated. She has woken up, so that's a good thing. Unfortunately, both of them have issues that we're going to look at a little closer tomorrow when all the sedation is wore off. Again, they may have been given stuff, and you never know, some bute as well. So we will evaluate both of those tomorrow when they've had a little more time to be here and get situated.
And what's nice about having Dr. Nancy here all the time is that we don't have to do an entire intake in one day and be working late into the night and be missing things. We're able to do very thorough intakes and continue tomorrow as well.
So we got through the most critical ones today because last night after we done our post-auction assessments, I went back and made an order list to load the trailers based on who was showing signs of illness, fevers, things like that. That was our infirmary trailer. Then the ones we processed today, the Wednesday trailer, and then Thursday trailer were the most stables or jacks, that nature, nobody showing any signs of illness, lameness, that way. So those are the ones we're going to do tomorrow is the non-lame children and the jacks and jennies. Again, they weren't showing any signs of lameness, illness.
And we took a lot of x-rays today. The x-ray machine ended up dying at the end of the day. So
I did not touch the machine.
We can't say how many we took today, but we took a lot of x-rays and found a lot of things. One thing that I think was interesting was the horse that was a sway back.
Yes.
Because you hear a lot of people saying, oh yeah, you can ride a horse with a sway back, and like that's bone on bone contact. And if you have a horse that's a sway back, talk to your veterinarian, get some x-rays, and make a educated decision with your veterinarian's guidance before you start riding a horse with a swayed back.
Yes, I will say, because definitely, I mean, she had other issues, but while we had her here, it gave us a good reference point to look at and build our library up of all different versions of kissing spine, ages, things of that nature, so we can keep, again, starting to keep better track long term of all the different horses we see, because the ones we get, unfortunately, have a higher percentage of issues. Like last night, we were able to rescue every horse, and that's a good thing they got rescued, but all the way back today, I was mentally going through my head of the issues, knowing that a lot of them had some major issues that were at auction that weren't fixable. Nobody else had bothered to try to fix, or they didn't want to fix. So that was kind of bothering me on the way back of how bad some of them were, but they're not suffering, so that's the key thing.
Yep. And I'm actually going to a memorial service tomorrow, so I'm not going to be here. Clint C., who was a huge animal advocate for Big Lick Tennessee walking horses, has passed away, so I'm going to his memorial service, and we got a Big Lick horse today, and it's so sad. They're just so broken down. But I know you got this tomorrow.
Yep. We're good.
Leaving it all in good hands.
We are getting ready to finish intake. So yesterday when we got back, we done the most critical ones based on fever, things like that, and also the ones that had the most serious leg wounds, the older ones that were looking dull, depressed, had kind of lost that sparkle in their eyes. We done all those yesterday. So only things we have left today are our 3 jacks, are a little mini mule, a pony, and the gray mare. So those are, quote, the healthy ones of the group, even though we'll watch for any signs of disease in them. So we're gonna go finish intake on those today. This one, all I know at market, was already in a pen when we got there. Was in the pen with another horse, but other than that, I don't have any other information on it. So I didn't see him have it out any. So this one is a complete mystery. I mean, he's in good health. So we will see. It may simply be one nobody wanted. Maybe it's a pony and he has a few little pony issues with behavior. So we will try to find out and see if he does have an issue or if we just a lucky one that ended up coming through that wasn't starved down yet. I'm actually surprised, sweetheart. Very good. You may, I'm gonna say, we'll see. It kind of one of them, we'll get our hopes up and see what it turns into. You are a sweetie. I hope there's nothing hidden on you. I hope we have nothing hidden. Let me get your rabies on the other side. Leg-wise, I don't see an obvious issue. We'll see, and behavior-wise, he's not shown anything outwardly, so we'll see what he does when he settles down, and I like you, sweetheart.
Actually leads very nicely.
Because she reacts more upset she gets.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her. We probably need to make a note to, once we see how she settles down, to sedate her and preg check her, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. She's at least a good body condition.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and tighten her up a little bit. You're sliding backwards, darling. There are worse things in the world, okay? You just gotta trust us. I know they weren't the nicest to you. I saw, okay, sweetie? Okay? So therefore, I understand part of your issues, okay? You just gotta learn to trust us, okay? We be good to each other. We be buddies.
You know, this auction, I was kind of excited to see that they had flags, but I didn't expect them to, use them the same way they were using the sticks in battles.
Good job.
They're
just smacking them.
The fact that there's a flag.
Yeah, and they just start smacking them with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I like cooking.
It's okay. Guess what?
She's right at that window too.
It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. We're gonna work with each other. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out what makes you tick, what upsets you, the whole 9 yards. You can go in the 10-acre field and run with Pony Man. And then I'll let you chill for a month. Then we'll see if maybe we have a baby or if we're just really, really healthy. Yeah, you are not that old, sweetheart. No. It's okay. I'm not putting a bit in your mouth. I'm not putting a bit. Okay? Now see? Not everybody goes beating around your head because I saw them try to put the bridle on you, okay?
Oh my goodness, he's less than 200 pounds. What?
He's probably coming a yearling like they said. Okay. So he has his full 3 sets of baby teeth, which come in around 6 to 8 months. So he's at least 8 months. No. Do you still have your testicles back there?
Probably.
If we can get him turned around, we can check.
Right.
I'll be the
can tie him off or
disposable one, I guess. Hey, buddy. We're going to check over here to see what you got.
I'm gonna give you some warmer to distract you.
Well, he doesn't have gelding scars, and I don't think his testicles have dropped yet, so.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that because, yeah, he is a young boy.
I do feel testicles, but they're about the size of an olive.
Because you're little. What would you expect? This one, Tawny actually recognized this little feller from the January auction. She had taken a photo of his head markings, and he's got a kind of pretty distinct on the shape of his head markings. So he apparently has cycled back through from January back to March. So we ended up with him this time, and he does have some evidence of lice, which tends to be common in spring of the year. So we lice treated him, and I'm gonna take a peek at his age, and he does need a little weight added on. So we're gonna, usually we normally don't feed donkeys because the way they developed in the desert, they don't need a lot of extra calories. But because of him, we're gonna put him on a little bit, just enough to get some more weight back on him a little quicker. And he's gonna be at the little Paso starting out just because they're a little thinner, need a little extra nutrition. But once we get him more weight, he'll go back with the others. We are finished with intake for this auction. It went well this morning. We had our little jacks, all over a little mini mule, and our 3 donkeys were all intact males. So I will let them set 3 weeks, settle in here. That way, when I go to castrate them, I will booster their tetanus, where we don't know if they've ever had one or not, so we're in good shape for it. And everybody looked good shape this morning. Only the one little donkey was a little underweight, so we're going to feed him just enough. Again, you got to watch donkeys to not overfeed them, because they don't need a high plenty of nutrition, but we're going to get some weight on him. And other than the little weight issue, everybody looks good right now.
This morning we're heading down to Mississippi. Clint C., who was a huge activist when it came to trying to help the Tennessee walking horses performing the Big Lick, he worked trying to get it stopped than any other person that's been out there that I'm aware of. And he did pass away, and we're headed to his memorial service. And then also a horse I rescued from the auction, Jen's Ice Glimmer. He's kind of in a witness protection program, but now that Clint is gone, Jen's Ice Glimmer will be coming back here until we figure out what protective service he needs to go into next. But yeah, it's really sad that Clint has gone, but I always told him, like, something happens, we will keep up the fight to end the Big Lick.
And it's just Tawny and I going down. We don't have a media team going with us, so it's mostly going to be focused on Tawny and the experience with Tawny. So I'll be the one videoing, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so it's always sad when the world loses somebody who's such a fighter against abuse. Yep. And so we're gonna hook up the truck and trailer and hit the road. It's a bit of a drive, but we usually, when we wear these blue shirts, we're going to a protest and we're gonna be there, and Clint's gonna have everything lined up, and now we're wearing his shirts to his memorial service, and it's pretty sad. But we will keep up the fight, and someday the Big Lick will end.
Tawny, we have a place for you to sit up front. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to put together in one word who Clint was. And I met him in 2015 as we had just located to Tennessee, and I had always been wanting to learn more about Big Lick. I stumbled across this Billy Go Boy. I was like, what is that? Billy Go Boy? But it's talking all about Big Lick horses. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna dive into this. And he was doing a protest in Columbia. And I was like, well, okay, we're all over this because this is exactly what needs to happen. It will help raise awareness. So I contacted him and I'm like, hey, we will be there. Ever since then, we've been involved in the protest. And that first year, too, I went to an auction and rescued that horse. And he had just been shown Big Lick like a few days before being auctioned off. And his legs were just raw. Flint will know probably all about this horse. He seems like a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to Tennessee walking horses. So I called him up, I told him the name, and before I knew it, he's like, yes, this horse has done this and this and this, and he knew everything. And so I purchased the horse, and then ever since then, Clint and I have worked very closely on big lick side of things. And I was always saying, you know what, there's nobody out here like Clint doing what he can for these horses. There's nobody pounding roads like he is, going to show after show after show. And yeah, I mean, there was a big show in Panama. It's not there anymore, and that's because of Clint. This morning I was putting on this shirt, and I was like, man, we're not going to a protest, but you know, we're gonna keep the protest going for him. We're gonna keep trying to end what he was so desperate to end. Tuesday we were at an auction and we rescued 2 more Tennessee walking horses, and one of them was a big lick horse. And as soon as I picked up the papers, I immediately thought, I need to let Clint know the names of these horses. And I was like, oh, he's not here. So he'll be greatly missed by so many in the world of trying to help horses. He's laid a groundwork for this journey of trying to put an end to this abuse. He laid a foundation like nobody else could have ever laid, because he was so driven by the passion he had to end the animal abuse. And now with this foundation, we can't let it crumble and fall apart. We have to come together, and I'm hoping each one of you who knew him and knew different insights can help us, because I always told him if something happens, we're gonna keep this going. And our goal and plan is to keep it going now. But with each one of you and your support and your help and guidance on certain areas, maybe we can end this for him.
Hi, buddy. Aw. Thank you.
So I had a lot of fun in the mud.
Oh, yes.
Fed him.
Perfect. He sure got quite the story.
Yeah. Yes. How was the service?
It was good. It was good. Hey, buddy. Yep. Yeah, I'm the one that got him from the auction.
Yeah, I remember.
Years ago. And he's still got all that crazy ear stuff.
Yeah.
The vet, when we got him, they looked at it and they said it's just a horrible, basically nasty stuff that we really can't get out of there. We'll have them all taken care of.
Mr. Glimmer, you're so beautiful.
So we're just picking up Glimmer. He's been at a boarding facility here in Mississippi, and we're bringing him back to our facility. Dr. Nancy will give a whole workup on him, and he'll go into the witness protection program again. This horse has definitely been the face of trying to raise awareness against the big lick. He is a survivor of the big lick, and he is an amazing horse. And I rescued him from an auction, and it's great to see him again and be bringing him back to our facility. And he will be in a safe place, and we'll take care of him, and he can continue to be an ambassador for Tennessee walking horses that are being sored. Ready to load up, buddy? Go back to Tennessee. All right, come on. It's been quite the journey with the whole big lick horse thing, and ever since I came to Tennessee and started being the voice for these Tennessee walking horses who have no voice, Clint has been there. And if I had any questions, I could call him. And you know, just at the last auction rescue, there was 2 registered Tennessee walking horses, and my first thought when I saw their names on the papers are, I need to contact Clint and see if he can research these horses and if he knows anything about them. And he's not here anymore. But you know, I'm just really glad that we worked together to be the voice for Tennessee walking horses for so many years, and that we will continue this journey and this fight to end the cruelty. And Clint C. did amazing things when it came to helping to end it. We are very, very close to ending this horrific abuse that happens, but we can't do it alone. So we're hoping that you can come to the protest and help us be the voice for these horses that are being abused behind closed barn doors. And I'm thankful that Glimmer is safe and he's back in our care, and that he was taken such good care of. And we're just gonna take on the baton and keep going. He's passed the baton on to us, and we're going to do everything we can to end Tennessee walking horse abuse. It's got to end. It's animal cruelty, and it's got to end. We're gonna do it.